In all honesty, when I look at you, Jacinta, the president of, or rather the leader of March in March, right? I don't see someone who's hungry. I don't see someone who is an opportunist. So when I say opportunist, I don't see someone who is doing what she's doing because she's trying to squeeze herself into the political space. Or she's doing what she's doing because she wants South Africans to vote for her in a particular way. Or whatever. I don't see Jacinta as, okay, here I might sound a bit judgmental, but obviously, as in, when I look at her, I don't even see someone who has children that go to public schools. The lady seems to be an intellect. I would listen to her occasionally when she spoke on radio, and I find her to be an intellect. There is wisdom in what she speaks. And what I appreciate the most about you, Jacinta, is she doesn't come across to me as someone who is full of hate. Her message or what she's trying to get across, I don't think she does it in a hateful way. But obviously, that would differ for everybody who's receiving her message, because there are people who will listen to her with that mentality or would say, South Africans, vele, they don't want us. There's someone who would listen to her with that mentality or would say, she's anti-South African. But if you really listen to her message, I think what she's advocating for is for people to go back to their countries and try and fix their countries in order for their countries to be as comfortable as South Africa seems to be for them. I think if we were to look at it with a realistic eye, without having that thing, you would see South Africans hate us, South Africans are xenophobic, South Africans. If we were to look at things with a sober eye and with a clear mind, is that it just doesn't make sense. The passion that non-South Africans put into Sizohlala la South Africa, Africa is for Africans, South Africa is part of Africa, South Africa is part of, the effort that you put. I don't know whether you're trying to convince yourself or you're trying to convince others or what is happening. But there is so much when people are showing aggression towards what is South Africa is for all of us, and towards, don't you want to be saying that boldly in your own country? Let's say, for example, you're from Malawi. Don't you want to be in Malawi saying Malawi is African, Malawi is my country, Malawi is, because, I think there's an element of pain when you are in a country and deep in your heart, you know that this country is not yours. But because of maybe a couple of things that are happening in that country that have pushed for your anger side or your aggression to come out and to speak out and to present itself, and then it presents itself, Africa is for all of us, this particular country, whatever, like you are demanding and you are making noise over something that you know truly deep down inside is not yours. I hear so many times when people from outside South Africa, and at times I do understand that they have been pushed. If a parent beats you all the time, they beat you, they shout at you, there's a character that they're bringing out of you. So at times, honestly, I understand the anger that non-South Africans have when South Africans start speaking and when South Africans become vocal about, abahambe and all that, and they respond in an aggressive manner. Honestly, I do understand where there are anger and aggression, but at the same time, it may be wrong saying at the wrong time. You see, so I think with Jacinta, it's more of passion. I don't see her doing this for any other thing other than passion, because she doesn't. Believe me, honestly, guys, we know when people are trying to be opportunists. We know when people are trying to squeeze themselves in. And Jacinta has been doing this. It's not that she's doing it now because of this, or she has been doing it, darling. And I just feel like we as South Africans at time are not giving her the support that she needs. Because at the end of the day, at that school, Addington Preschool, where she went to, I doubt she has any kids going there or any relations that are going there or anything like that. But she's gone through some sort of embarrassment, some sort of humiliation. People are even the pettiest things. There's that picture where a bit of her underwear showed, and people are like, and it's the stupidest things. That's why when you indulge yourself in conversations and in debates, especially online, you must watch the type of things that you entertain, Because the type of things that you entertain, that you respond on, and that you comment on, they could at times be a reflection on. Imagine, as I am, if someone is mocking the type of underwear that showed accidentally yesterday on Jacinta and going on, and now they're making it a topic. I don't know whether they get an element of humor or whatever, but imagine someone with common logic, someone with their full sane senses commenting on a woman's underwear. No, she'll never come back from this one. She's wearing a picture string. And then people go onto that, they jump onto that, they are commenting on that. And I think when it comes to topics in the political space, or topics on updates, South African updates or whatever updates, and there's a seriousness to those type of topics. Yes, people will always try to throw in humor and all, but there are topics that don't need humor, especially timing. You understand? If this was, something that, hey, did you see her whatever color, pink or whatever, G-string, and this is weeks after it happened, then maybe it could be turned into humor. But this is something that happened yesterday. And I think there's a very thin line between humor and stupidity. Yeah, but then that's, but what I'm saying all in all is, I think people need to try and support Jacinta and her type of movements. When I say Jacinta, I'm not speaking about her alone. I'm speaking about MKP. I'm speaking about Patriotic Alliance. I'm speaking about Action SA. I'm speaking about Operation Dudula. It's the thought, the movement we are about behind the name. You see? So what happened yesterday at primary schools and all, that's a topic for another day. And I think most of us saw what happened there. But yay, I think and I wish that a whole lot more South Africans can support the type of movements, patriotic movements, for South Africa to be able to move forward.